2025, it's on its way out, and 2026 is on its way in. Now with this, well, I've been thinking about the JRPGs that I want to play in 2026. However, there has been many JRPGs over the past couple of years that I have missed and really need to catch up on. So, with this in mind, today we're going to have a look at 9 JRPGs on my 2026 to-play list. But before we get cracking on with the video, John aka Chicken Fillets here. If you like JRPGs, my 2026 JRPGs, and a wee Scottish guy talk about, well, please consider subscribing to the channel. And of course, I want to know what JRPGs that you're planning to play in 2026. Now, without further ado, let's get cracking on with the first entry. So this, to many JRPG players, from what I'm seeing online, is that this is their personal game of the year. And it's one that I've not played yet, and I really need to pick this one up. It's Trails in the Sky First Chapter. Now this is the remake of the first entry, or first arc should I say, within the Legend of Heroes Trails of series, where we follow Estelle and Joshua in their journey in becoming bracers, and from there things start to go a bit crazy. Now this game looks fantastic, and this game really looks like it deserves all the praise that it is getting, especially with its new combat, where it's a mixture of action and turn-based combat. Now this was one that I've not picked up yet in 2025, just for the reason of I just haven't got around to it. There's so many games that I'm trying to get through just now, whether it's games from my backlog, etc. It's not a case of, I'm not picking it up because I don't want to play it, it's just I haven't got round to it. From many people, this has been highlighted as their game of the year. Currently, I have friends who are currently playing this game who wouldn't usually play a Trails game. This is actually their first time playing it. I'm looking at you, James, from the review ting, and they're loving every second of it. The Trails series, to me, has a special place in my heart. The likes of the Crossbell arc, which I honestly think is amazing. I really hope that gets a remake treatment soon. Then there's the likes of Cold Steel, which was my first journey into Trails. And then there's Daybreak as well, which keep an eye on Daybreak on this list. So yes, this is the first entry of the list, Trails in the Sky First Chapter. Let me know what your thoughts are down below on this title, and I will enjoy it. Now there is another JRPG which a friend of the channel, Toolman, has been telling me to play over and over again. I'm going to make sure that in 2026 I pick it up and do so. So this is Rise of the Third Power. So looking at Rise of the Third Power and having a look at the description, so it's a retro-themed JRPG, and it's loosely based on the political climate of Europe in the late 1930s. The story takes place in the land of Rin during the height of the Age of Sail, following the events that would lead to the greatest war in human history. So this one has been recommended not only by Toolman but various other commenters on the channel, and this is one that I really need to pick up and play. I've only ever heard good things about this, mainly down to the story. This has got turn-based combat as well, and from looking at trailers, it has a gorgeous pixel art style. This one has actually been on my wish list for a while. I've just never got round to actually pressing the buy button, so I think in 2026 I'll finally be pressing said button. Can't wait to finally delve into that game. Next up is a Saga game which I have been meaning to pick up, and it came out a couple of years ago now by this point. So this is a follow-up to Yakuza Like a Dragon, the second adventure with Ichiban Kazuma. Now, the first Like a Dragon game was fantastic with that turn-based combat and the job system, where you're able to change up, obviously, said jobs. So for example, you could have your team members be different, like let's say a break dancer, or you could have someone as a chef, etc. And it was that humour which really stuck with me in that game. And also the slice of life action where you could go to likes of arcades, etc. There's just so much you could do in that area. Now this time we're going overseas from Japan and we're going to be in Hawaii. This one I'm really looking forward to. I know that it's going to be a big boy of a game because it's meant to be about 80 hours to 100 hours worth of gameplay. And that's not including all the, the fun side quest stuff and the slice of life action, going to arcades, etc. This one does look awesome. I'm aiming to pick this one up for my Steam Deck. Oh, I can't wait to play this one. Another one I can't wait to play next year in 2026, and it's one that I have actually started playing before, and I've talked about it recently, but I'm going to bring up again, is Chained Echoes. Now, I do in fact already own this on the Nintendo Switch and I've already tried to play it, but that was back in 2024. Now, I dropped the game unfortunately because I got stuck on a bus. I'm going to leave that in actually, stuck on a bus. So yeah, it was the genie boss who changes its weakness and its elements, and it just really drove me up the wall and I just dropped the game, which I really shouldn't have because that's not really that far into the story. Now, what I did play of Chained Echoes, I really did enjoy it. I thought the combat was really unique. Yes, it's turn-based, but what I mean by the uniqueness is that bar on the top left-hand corner of the screen, making sure that you're able to keep your attacks in that green bar, meaning you're just maximizing your attacks, etc. The pixel artwork was fantastic and the soundtrack was great with this one. Now, the incentive of going back and completing this, not just to, give myself a kick up the backside, but it's also the DLC for Chained Echoes came out this year, and I got a message from Luca from Fieto Gaming recently who said, to me, have you played the DLC? I think this will be right up your street. And I've had to remind him, no, I've not even completed the first game yet. So yeah, I am looking forward to finally beating this game in 2026. So the next one, I mentioned or hinted towards Daybreak because in 2025, and keep an eye out for all the games that I completed this year, but in 2025 I completed Trails through Daybreak 1 back in January, and I haven't picked up Daybreak 2. Again, it's not for not wanting, I just haven't pressed the buy button yet. So this is a follow-up to the second arc in the Republic of Calvert. And what I did really enjoy of likes of Van Ackried and Ackried Solutions, the story, I have to admit, was a slow burn with that title. It didn't have that same pace I was used to with the likes of Cold Steel, etc. There was something about the pacing, like the moments that hit you hard were amazing, and then it kind of just had a dull, slow moment, and then it would pick back up. Now, what I'm really hoping for this in the second arc is that pacing's fixed. I really can't wait to get this one because the kind of game plan that I have with Trails for in 2026 is to get through Daybreak 2 first, and then move on to Trails in the Sky, and then there will be the latest release in the series from my remembering, which is Trails to the Horizon, I want to say. Something along, it's got Horizon in the name, I can't remember off the top of my head. But yeah, so Trails through Daybreak 2, when we will revisit Van Ackried. So this one is an indie title that I want to pick up and play in 2026. It's called Bloomtown, A Different Story. Now, I remember this being reviewed by various content creators back in 2024. I think the likes of, I had seen the Kiseki Nut and Lexi from Backlog Battle cover this one, and that's where I found out about this game in general. And I remember something along the lines of, they said it was like an indie version of Persona off the top of my head. But a little bit about the game, I've got the Steam description in front of me. So Bloomtown, A Different Story is a narrative JRPG mixing turn-based combat, monster taming and social RPG set in a seemingly pleasant 1960s Americana world. Join Emily and her group of friends to save their cozy town from the demonic creatures that live in the hearts of its residents. So yeah, this one, it's got the turn-based combat, but what really stands out is that colourful pixel artwork. It got rave reviews, this game as well, and it's one that I still haven't pressed the buy button. Should maybe change the title of this video to 9 JRPGs I need to buy, or something along those lines. But yeah, Bloomtown, A Different Story, looks fantastic. I'm going to pick this one up for my Steam Deck and get it played on there. So the next JRPG indie game that we're going to talk about on this list was brought to my attention by friend of the channel, Goober. I'm pretty sure it was Goober. Goober, you can definitely correct me if I'm wrong, but it was Small Saga. Now, Small Saga, let's look into the description of this. So beneath the streets of London, an angry mouse seeks revenge against the god who stole his tail. An epic RPG of miniature proportions. Now, I remember this game getting highlighted in a comment from, like I said, I think it's Goober, correct me if I'm wrong, but this one was highlighted to me. I looked at the video for this and it looks ace. You play as a mouse in turn-based combat. The trailer video, as you'll see whilst you're watching this video, you know, you're taking on a cat with a Swiss Army knife. Little things like that always impress me. The pixel artwork looks fantastic. Looks like it plays with an isometric view as well when you're in exploration. And this one I've been wanting to pick up for a while. I don't think it's a long RPG as well, so it's one that I could, you know, be a palate cleanser as such. I really cannot wait to pick this one up. Small Saga, if this is one that you have played, let me know in the comments down below. Now we've got the last indie we're going to talk about on this video, and it was one which got released to rave reviews, certainly from various JRPG content creators especially, and it is Quartet. So let's talk a little bit about Quartet. I'm having a look at the description about it. So a series of unlikely train robberies, a mysterious deck of cards, a fleet of deadly airships, an accidental mage. Choose from 4 stories in any order and discover how they intertwine in this turn-based RPG. So Quartet has had rave reviews, like I mentioned, and honestly I am excited to actually give this one a bash. It's just one that I've not picked up yet. Again, like I mentioned earlier on in the video, I have been focused a lot more in the earlier half of the year, you know, on my backlog, etc. I kind of stepped away from the backlog to review a couple of different games, but Quartet is one that I'm really looking forward to. It's got turn-based combat, which looks really fun, and this one, Quartet's actually going to be highlighted in another game which is coming out in 2026, I think, known as Infinite Alliance as well, so it'll be great to see that link up to that game as well. So Quartet, yeah, I'm looking forward to picking this one up in 2026. If you have played this title, let me know in the comments down below and tell me what your thoughts were. Now, to end this list is probably the biggest why have you not played this yet, Phillips? Tell me why. I don't know why I just recorded that upstairs. Mrs. Phillips will probably hear me doing that and go, what are you doing? So yes, the next one is Metaphor ReFantazio. Mortazio, I don't know the pronunciation by this time. Anyway, that waffling aside, so let's have a look at this. So it's from Atlas and Saga, and it was 2024 it was released. But yeah, I'm definitely behind with the times. After his assassination, the will of the late king decrees the next monarch to be elected by the people. Forge bonds and win over a kingdom divided in this award-winning fantasy RPG with turn-based and action combat, party customization with powerful archetypes and hours of exploration. So this is a brand new IP brought to us from Atlas and the same teams who brought us Persona. Now, this has been described by many as, you know, one of the best JRPGs ever made. It got loads of Game of the Year sort of awards from various content creators back in 2024, and this one does look incredible. So this has got a hybrid combat system because there is action-based combat and then you can kick straight into turn-based combat. I think it uses that kind of, that Persona ability where you're able to like get powerful like monsters behind you or something. You know how Persona works if you've played it, you know, and you're able to attack weaknesses. This one's got a totally different fantasy setting as well, which looks fantastic. All I've heard is that the story's brilliant as well, and you can get invested in it. It's got like loads of, I think it's like 100+ hour game as well. So again, this is going to be a big boy of 2026, but it's one that I have, you know, embarrassingly not actually played yet, and I really need to pick this one up and play it in 2026. So yes, with that in mind, those are the 9 JRPGs on my 2026 to play list. So let me know what JRPGs that you need to play in 2026 in the comments down below. Now if you like what you're hearing and seeing on this channel, please help me grow it by liking, sharing and subscribing. And if you want to be kept up to date with everything Chicken Fillets, you know what to do, hit that notification bell. This has been John, aka Chicken Fillets, and until next time, tatty bye.